What's up, guys? This is Alex Van Houten with Defining Dad Bod. I hope you're doing super well. Happy Father's Day weekend. This is an amazing weekend where we get to honor the fathers in our lives, either our own fathers or maybe fathers in our community, grandfathers, uncles, or whoever it is that brought the awesome masculine essence to your world in a way that inspired you to be tougher, to be stronger, to better yourself every single day, to work hard, and all of the above things that you might attribute to a father worth honoring. And I know it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Some of us have had harder experiences with fathers than others, but those of us whose turn it is right now to redefine what it means to be a father for our generation and for generations to come, I hope that you're taking your mission very seriously, and I honor you in your own journey to do that well. High five. Keep up the good work, Dad. So today, in honor of Father's Day weekend, I am releasing a show called It's Time to Redefine What We Mean by Dad Bod. And actually, I started this work about 3 years ago. Shortly after becoming a father myself, I found myself doing weird things when I drove home from work, like stopping to grab a Pop-Tart and drinking a little too much bourbon when the kids went to bed. Well, kids. I have kids now. He was only one child at the time. But I found myself doing these strange things, and I was in the fitness industry at the time. I'm still in the fitness industry, and I've been there for over a decade, and I was like, what is going on? This isn't me. I don't understand what's happening to me. And so I did some research, and I found that there's a biological basis for dad bod, that there are some hormonal changes that dad goes through. And if you haven't checked those changes out or haven't looked at that research, I have several shows, and I've covered that topic quite a bit. You're welcome to reach out. I'll send you some links. And you can also find it on the podcast and on our website. But in finding that, I was faced with a crucial decision. The question for me in the fitness industry at the time was, well, do I just give into this whole thing? Like, biologically speaking, seems that my cortisol, my serotonin, and my testosterone are all against me being a healthy and fit father. And so maybe I'll just have the dad bod, and, maybe I'll have to square that circle with the fitness industry and stuff. And so the question became, is that the way things have to be? And I said no. I submit that doesn't need to be the case. And I wrote an entire article on the topic of redefining dad bod, which you'll hear from in just a second. So I'm excited to share that with you. But in the journey of publishing a show called Defining Dad Bod and having conversations with dads and myself growing as a father over the past 3 years, it's interesting because you see things like what I'm about to share with you pop up in popular media, and you go, man, we're missing the boat. We're missing the boat, not just in the health and fitness industry, but as dads, in terms of what our bodies can mean and perhaps what it is that we could be doing powerfully and positively with them, both in ourselves and for our kids in our community. And so I wanted to share with you guys an article that showed up in Fox just, I think it was yesterday. A good friend of mine shared it with me. He's like, what the heck, man? So the article reads, more Americans are finding the dad bod attractive. And I'll just read you what it is that they did. They did a survey at Planet Fitness, because that's the institution of, higher fitness for sure. They have Tootsie Rolls at the counter, and they serve pizza, I'm told, once a week. Anyway, so of 2,217 American adults who participated in the survey, 65% said that dad bod is attractive. Now, around here, Defining Dad Bod is on a mission to redefine what we mean by dad bod. And if you don't know what that means, listen for the show, because I'm going to talk about exactly what it is that I think dad bod could mean or should mean to us dads, and the opportunity that we have to redefine this whole dad bod meme. But anyway, 65% say the dad bod is attractive. 61% say that men with dad bods are sexy. I'm just going to keep going there. And 51% think that the dad bod is the new six-pack. So I want to point something out to you guys here, because this is really important. You know that I've recently done the Beyond Calories series. We're in part 1 talking about how the food that we eat is more than calories in, and the exercise that we do is more than calories out. I'm going to make another assertion here. I'm going to assert that your body is more than your appearance. I'll say that again. Your body is more than your appearance. What did they survey? They surveyed, dad bod is attractive, yes or no? Is dad bod sexy, yes or no? Dad bods are the new six pack. So all those things are like surface level appearances, right? Surface level things that you see in the mirror and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, your appearance is important. The way that you understand yourself and how that affects your confidence level and how that affects how you think about yourself, or perhaps how you present yourself to other people. I'm not bypassing the fact that it's important what we think about how we look. Okay, that's fair. But to boil down a dad's body to just the appearance of his body, I think is a mistake. I think that your body is more than your appearance. I think your body plays into how you feel from a pain perspective, or a happiness perspective, or a depression or anxiety perspective. And I also believe, and if you want to hear, I talk about my beliefs here as if, I have some ground to stand on. I have over 95 episodes, a lot of them heavily cited from a research perspective, to argue positively from an exercise, nutrition, and lifestyle standpoint that your body significantly affects the way you think, the way you feel, and then also from a health and fitness perspective, the way you move, what diseases you do or don't contract. It's a very powerful thing. So your body is more than your appearance. I think we all know that, but we see a title like this, or we see a survey like this, and we think, like, oh wow, dad bod's sexy, dad bod's attractive, or dad bod is the new six pack. I really want you to read into that and say, like, look, my body is more than my appearance. Okay, like the way I feel, the way I'm able to keep up with my kids, the whether or not I'm going to end up with cardiometabolic diseases in the next 10 years, like my body has a lot more to do with things outside of just what I see in the mirror. So my first assertion is your body is more than your appearance. And as I'm talking today about what dad bod could mean if we spent the time to redefine it, I hope you'll be thinking about that. I hope you'll be thinking about how your body is more than your appearance. But let's follow the appearance line just a little bit, okay? Because this is important to me. Let's say that your body isn't more than your appearance. Let's say that what you see is what you get. That's it. And how we conceptualize that is all that matters. Are you sexy? Are you attractive? Is this the new six pack? Like, that's all that matters. Okay. So fine. There's a group of people, 2,217 of them to be exact, in Planet Fitness, and there's 67% and 61% and 51% who say certain things about your appearance. That's great. But what other questions could we possibly be asking about dad bod? Because if people are going to talk about my body, especially people who aren't dads. I love this. I love it when people who aren't dads have something to say about those of us who are dads and what our bodies are or aren't, right? That's fun. So the question I would have about dad bod, I have two actually. I have one, what does dad bod attract? What does dad bod attract? So there's a group of people who say, yeah, dad bod's sexy, dad bod's a new six pack. And that's cool. But I'm thinking about the people in my life who might say that. And I don't know, I like to hang with a crowd of people who aren't very complacent about their bodies, and who aren't very complacent about their health and fitness, and who know clock's ticking, man. No matter what it is that you do, we're all not getting any younger. That's the thing. We're all not getting any younger. No matter what it is you do, whether you go to the gym regularly, whether you drink a beer regularly, whether you eat too much pizza, like, we're not getting any younger. And so when you ask yourself, who does a dad bod attract? And there's a group of people who are like, yeah, dad bods are great. Yeah, you should just embrace, what you are and stuff. Body shaming aside, I want to surround myself with people who, one, want the best for me, and who, two, are dedicated and devoted to betterment. Dedicated and devoted to betterment. That doesn't mean I want to surround myself with friends who look at me and go, hey man, getting kind of pudgy here. Are you slacking on your cardio? That's not it at all. It's when people look at me and they see me running on the street or lifting weights or playing hard with my kids. I want them to look at me and say, man, you're inspiring. like what you're doing and how active you are and how you're trying to do it for health and fitness and for leaving a good legacy, that's powerful. That's good. The people who say that dad bod, as it's currently defined, is sexy or attractive or whatever, are the same people who will look at me and go, hey man, slow down. Like, you're not getting any younger. Watch out. You're going to injure yourself. Or are you crazy? Stop running on the road without a shoulder, blah, blah, blah. And those are not the sort of people that I want to surround myself with. They're not going to help me become any better. And perhaps those are the voices that I'm going to begin hearing when I get up at 5 a.m. and I'm like, hey, I need to go work out. I need to make sure that I spend the time that I need to spend making myself better so that today I can show up best for my family. And those are not voices that I need in my head. It's the voices of people who think that the current definition of dad bod is attractive and sexy and the new six pack. So the other question that I have about your appearance when you're reading an article like this, and something that I wish was asked in the Planet Fitness realm, is really revolves around the idea, who's watching you? Look, dad, like if you're watching this and you're a dad, you know that at any given time in the day, your kids are watching you, your wife is watching you, your family, like your extended family is watching you, your coworkers are watching you. If you run a business, your employees are watching you, your community's watching you, everybody's watching you. And it's an overwhelming burden sometimes. Sometimes it's an overwhelming burden to lead by example and to constantly be under the judgment and scrutiny of the community. It's powerful in a way because it inspires you to be better. Like, it's an overwhelming burden, but if you'll take it on, man, it'll inspire you to be the best version of you that you can possibly be. And you can look at your life and go, if it wasn't for everybody counting on me, would I even be who I am today? I can raise my hand and say no. You know, if you know, my kids can wear me out sometimes, and sometimes I need a little more sleep, and sometimes I could use a break, and sometimes running a business is really hard. But if I look at my life and I look at myself 5 years ago and go, wow, like there's not even any comparing this guy, because I've grown so much taking on the responsibility in a powerful way. And the question is, when you look at yourself in the mirror, when people look at you, who's watching and what are they seeing? Because I think about my kids. Let me read you this article. This is the conclusion, okay? Because they're like, hey, dad bod's sexy. Everybody thinks so. Six pack or whatever. So, gentlemen, raise a glass, grab another slice of pizza, and toast to that relatively fit but neither lean nor muscular look. Like, is that like, all I hear is like, yeah, complacency, woohoo, more beer and pizza. Like, is that really what we want to leave our kids with? Like, I'm sorry, it's kind of funny to me. Is that really what image we want to leave our kids with? Dad, going down at 56 from cardiometabolic disease with a beer in his hand. Like, man, he had that six-pack dad bod, the new six-pack, that is. That's not what I want to leave my kids with. So it's Father's Day. I want you to be thinking about your body. I think your body's more than your appearance. But even if it isn't, even if what you see in the mirror is what you get, and that's how people judge you and think you're sexy or attractive or whatever, is that what you want to leave your kids with? Not me. Not me. I'm excited for you to check out the show. I'm excited for you to listen to why I think it's time for us to redefine what we mean by dad bod. Because I think that as fathers, we are so much more than our appearance. And I think that we have an opportunity in our lives right now to use our bodies to teach our children something powerful about self-betterment, about discipline, about hard work, about self-sacrifice, and about fun, about a life that you don't have to live in pain and disease. And I think embracing the dad bod as it's currently defined is a big mistake. I think it's a big mistake. So this has been Alex Van Houten with Defining Dad Bod. I'm really excited for you to check out the show. I hope it's powerful to you. Happy Father's Day. Again, honoring you in your journey to define what fatherhood means in our day and age, because goodness knows our kids, our communities, our workplaces, our families need powerful fathers who take this role very seriously. And I'm excited for us to leave our mark.